Hey everyone, welcome to Zero Labs. Today is Thursday, July 21st, 2016. I'm Mark Brash, your host, and this is a very long overdue update from the lab. I can't even remember when the last time was I did a video, and to my audience, I really apologize for that. I've just been, how shall I say it, preoccupied. I've been working on a linear amplifier project for my ham station. Those of you who are part of the live streaming audience every so often know this, or who have been looking and watching at my Twitter feed. I'll post a link down below in the description to my Twitter feed so you can see some pictures of the amateur radio linear amplifier project as it's progressing, and I'll be doing another video on that very soon. But this morning, my trusty Asus 1215N laptop decided that it was really jealous of all the time that I've been spending with my linear amplifier, and it said, you know what? I'm not turning on for you. I'm not charging your battery. I'm not giving you any lights. I'm just going to roll over and play dead. And so it did. So I did a little searching on the web and looking for some troubleshooting, and all I find are videos where you got these foreigners taking apart their Asus 1215s, and they're not saying anything. They're not saying a word. So I decided, well, I'm going to do my own Asus 1215 repair video, and hopefully I can show you how it's done. Before we get into that, I just want to make a couple of announcements. First of all, I want to thank all of you Patreon supporters, PayPal supporters, those of you who have been sending in donations anonymously. I really appreciate it. This has been a very difficult time for me, and your support helps a lot. It may not seem like you're doing much, but believe me, you are. It does help, and I want to thank you for that from the bottom of my heart. Also, a very special announcement. I will be doing a live broadcast Saturday after next. This will be Saturday, July 30th, 2016. And my very special guest will be Smart Scarecrow. He showed up in my chat room yesterday, and I've been chatting with him a little bit on and off. He's got a few updates in his own personal life. He finally retired, and it doesn't look like the Smart Scarecrow show will be coming back in video format. People are pestering him to do a radio show. We might see him again on the Rents Radio Network. I don't know, but Smart Scarecrow will be my guest. The actual time of the broadcast is to be determined. It will, of course, be recorded. And I hope many of you will join me then. And, of course, I will post a link in the description below. So, let's get on to the Asus laptop, shall we? This is the empty shell, which has the motherboard removed. And I'll be going through the steps that I went through to take this motherboard out and get everything apart, and go through the steps that I went through to actually troubleshoot and figure out what the heck was wrong with this thing.
Okay, so the first thing, of course, is to take the case, flip it over, and remove your screws. I removed the screw for the memory cover, and there's one screw that holds that in place. I looked underneath the rubber feet at the front corners, where some were indicated in some of the videos that I found, but I couldn't find any on my model. You remove the memory, and there are 4 screws underneath the memory door, plus 2 screws underneath the battery. You'll notice I'm taking some white masking tape, writing on it, and sticking my screws to the white masking tape, simply because all these screws are different lengths. And this is a very easy way to keep them separated and sorted, so that when you put it back together, you know where they all go. So next thing is to remove the bezel around the touchpad that just pries up along the edge with the blade like you see. Be careful when you lift up the edge of the pad, and don't rock it from the back edge the way I did. Lift it straight off the keyboard. I ended up breaking some tabs. They're very delicate. There are 4 screws that hold the front lip of the keyboard in place, and then the keyboard lifts away with the flat blade. And then you take the connector, slide the retainer clip back, and remove the keyboard. I'm marking the motherboard shield with the red Sharpie so that I can find where the screw locations go back easily the next time I want to put them back. There's also some stamped triangles on the motherboard shield, but they're not as easy to see, so I find marking it with a red marker to be much easier. There are 7 screws in total that hold the shield in place, and I'm looking for that 7th screw, and it's right in front of my face in the lower right corner with the warranty void if removed sticker. So you take that off, and then the motherboard shield comes away fairly easily. Alright, just like that. A little piece of tape at the corner. Alright, so the next thing is to remove the caddy for the hard drive. There's 4 screws that hold the caddy in place. The hard drive slides to the right, and you take the hard drive, set it aside. I'm going to do the same thing again now with my red magic marker, and I'm going to mark all of the locations for the screws on the motherboard that I'm going to lift up. There are a number of screws that seem to go through the motherboard that are empty, but those are the ones that came through the bottom. So I do that just to make it easy to find the locations when I put the screws back the next time. I'm removing the ribbon cable that interconnects the motherboard to the I/O board on the right, disconnecting the wireless LAN and the video cables, and of course the backup battery. So all the screws now are coming out of the motherboard. I've already taken off the wireless LAN board, or taken the screws out, lift the wireless LAN away. Disconnect the display connector and the backlight connector, and then the motherboard will lift out. Just like that. So I'm inspecting the motherboard. Can't really find anything wrong with the motherboard. I'm going to take it and blow it out with some compressed air to clean out the fan. Alright. So now I'm going to take and apply power, stick the memory back in, and the next step is to apply power from the wall wart and see if I can get any action from the motherboard itself. I was going to measure the voltage, but as soon as I plugged it in, the lights came on. And I thought, okay, alright, let's start putting it back together and see where it begins to fail. So you can just temporarily set the motherboard back into the case of the laptop. And I connect the video cables so that I can see what's going on. Alright, put the I/O board back in. I'm going to put the ribbon cable back together, and then I'm going to apply power again and see if I get any display on the laptop. Stick the battery in. Yeah. Alright, so here we go, applying power, and nothing happens. Okay, so putting this thing back together, nothing happens. What changed? I added things. I didn't take away, so something caused it to fail. Now, one at a time, take away the battery, see if it comes on. It does not. Disconnect the CMOS battery, check it, it does not come on. Disconnect the ribbon cable. Oh, look at that. I got a light, I got a display. So connecting the I/O board is what caused it to fail. Next step is to take the I/O board out, inspect it very carefully, and I'm looking and I'm really not finding anything. And then when I started looking extra careful at the ribbon cable connector, I noticed that there was a bridge of corrosion, looked like, in between 2 of the pins on the I/O board. So to confirm my diagnosis, I take the motherboard out and reconnect the ribbon cable to the motherboard, reconnect the I/O board to the ribbon cable, So yeah, plugged it in and I got lights. So I'm checking the electrolytic capacitors, make sure none of the electrolytic capacitors are shorted. Looking underneath, still inspecting, still can't find that. What's wrong? Blow it out with compressed air and put it back together. Plug it in, and no joy. Still nothing. So I still haven't found the short circuit at this point, and I'm thinking to myself, what the heck did I miss? Take the I/O board off again. I know there's something on this I/O board that's causing it. There, and there it is. I found it. I'm trying to brush it away with the toothbrush. It's not coming clean. Then I go back in there with the point of a razor blade, and I'm going to clean it out with the point of a razor blade. Eventually. Yeah, there I am. You can't see it on camera. I'm doing it underneath the bright light to clean it out. I apologize for that. It's not on camera. Plug it in. Powered up. Got lights. Look at that. Time for lunch.
With the I/O board attached to the ribbon cable, it would not power up. It would not do anything. So I said, all right, well, I must have a short circuit on the I/O board itself. And the short circuit actually ended up being right here at this ribbon cable connector. Looking at it with a very high-powered magnifying glass, I was able to find a tiny piece of corrosion that had formed on one of the solder connections for the pins that are soldered to the board. Now this, keep in mind, this connector is probably 1.25 inches wide, which is what, maybe 30 millimeters wide, right? It's got to have at least 40 pins on it, at least, maybe 50. I don't know, but they're really tiny and they're very closely spaced. And finding the short circuit was difficult, but I was able to clean it out with a razor knife and then clean it out again with some 91% alcohol, let it dry, retested it, and guess what? It came back to life. And without further ado, let's get back to putting it together. Last but not least, please turn on. Ah, had me worried. Thing of beauty right there. There it is. Ubuntu, my favorite operating system. That's all for now from the lab. Thank you all for joining me. As always, please rate, share, comment, and subscribe to my videos. And peace, everybody.